With our press reviewer, Florence Villemino. Hello there.
Hi,
let's start off with the economy. French debt has officially reached 2 trillion euros now.
That's right. We saw this coming, and now we're here. A lot of drama in the French press today. Let's start by looking at the front page of Le Figaro, which says France is sinking because of this 2 trillion euros debt. That's a lot of zeros. It's 12 zeros to be exact. And Le Figaro says that in just 10 years, French debt has doubled and is close to 100% of GDP. Very dramatic Figaro in its editorial as well. It says that our debt is as high as the Himalaya. And according to the Figaro, the government is going to have to spend more money on interest payments than on investing in education and other important things. And according to the Figaro, well, it's the government's own fault. They blame mismanagement and the lack of brave reform.
Now, that's kind of the news that's sure to get a lot of people very angry, isn't it? Le Figaro crunching some other numbers for us as well.
That's right. Now, 2 trillion euros in debt, it's kind of an abstract number. It's hard to understand just how much that represents. So Le Figaro does some math with some very useful graphs there. That 2 trillion euros in debt, that's 30,000 euros per French citizen. It's also the cost of 6,000 Airbus A380s, 18,000 Lamborghini Veneno roadsters. That's the world's most expensive car.
I was going to say, I don't even know what that is.
That is 200 nuclear reactors. So it's the price of a bunch of things, according to
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. What Le Figaro fails to mention, however, is that 2 trillion euros is less than Germany's debt, which at 2.14 trillion euros is the biggest in the Eurozone.
Okay, although Germany does have a bigger population, so we could argue these things forever, couldn't we? The government is going to unveil its 2015 budget later on this morning. I'm sure the papers are having a look ahead to that.
Absolutely. Les Echos, the main business paper, isn't so excited about this new budget. It says that it's full of gaffes. That's what it says on the front page. And according to Les Echos, the 21 billion euros in spending cuts isn't going to fix the economy. Libération agrees that this budget is pretty absurd. It likens it to trying to square the circle. The government isn't between a rock and a hard place. It has to limit the negative impact of spending cuts, lower taxes, and limit the deficit. All these things are mutually exclusive. Libération says it's really mission impossible for the government.
And everyone's just had their tax bills in the last couple of weeks. No one I've spoken to seems to be happy with what they're paying. The government's being asked to reform the entire tax system as well. You've got something from Libération for us.
That's right. Libération is really upset that the government didn't reform the tax system. It calls it a missed opportunity. That's on the front page today. And Libération really regrets the fact that the government didn't go back to the drawing board to make the system more fair, because Libération says a majority of French people don't think the tax system is fair. Instead, the government just put Band-Aids on here, fixed things a little here.
Small lot of tinkering, hasn't
Lots of tinkering, not real reform. So lashing out from Libération, lashing out from L'Humanité too, that's the communist paper. They're lashing out against the government for not doing enough for pensioners. Yesterday, associations representing retirees demonstrated against the government's austerity programs. You can see it on the front page of L'Humanité here. And it says that being retired is no life today. So lots of lashing out against the government today.
Very much so. Well, we're going to move away from the economy now and looking at how the papers are focusing on the international coalition, this military effort to combat the Islamic State group in Syria and Iraq.
That's right. Now, remember, France is participating in military operations in Iraq, but not in Syria. Le Monde today focuses on just how, what's the success going to be of this military operation. Le Monde says it's likely to be quite limited. You can see the limits of this war unless there are boots on the ground, according to Le Monde.
And Western countries on high alert for terror attacks at home.
That's right. Now, the Islamic State group has threatened to attack Western countries at home in retaliation for these attacks, and there are fears that many European jihadists fighting in Syria and Iraq could return home. Last week, there was a huge fiasco here in France because 3 jihadists returning from Syria there was a failed arrest on these three French citizens. Now, a string of mishaps led to their failed arrest. Basically, they were meant to be arriving in Paris. That's where the police were waiting for them. But they arrived in Marseille and ended up roaming around the streets of Marseille free. Now, Le Figaro takes a closer look at this missed arrest and blames actually a very sophisticated software program called Cheops, which is supposed to help the police monitor these suspects, but in this case failed.
Okay, thanks very much. Very interesting stuff. We can read about that in Le Figaro. Thank you, Flo. See you later for the International Press Review. We're going to move on now with a look at web news, which includes a marching